Welcome, folks. Today, we have a special edition for you. It's our 500th episode, and it's hard to believe. We've been through so much together, but we're going to give you a special treat today. We're going to go visit our friends at Dogfish Head Brewing, and we're going to have their Wake Up Worldwide Stout. It's out of Delaware, Milton, Delaware to be exact. Stick around.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special Hopped Up Beer Review. It is our 500th beer review. We've been with you through the thick and the thin. Some of you have hung on with us. Most of you
Stouts and the Pilsners
are not here. Yeah. But we're going to continue to cram reviews down your throat. So we're just getting started here with 500.
Open wide.
Yeah. Appreciate you checking out this video. If you're still here, we appreciate that. I got Andy in the attic and Jay. I am Ben. Number 500, boys. What are we doing?
We got a special one. Wake Up Worldwide Stout. Dogfish Head does this on a limited series. It's one that Andy's going to tell us all about, but I've sought this one for a while and finally found it for us last year.
So. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your service.
Yes, just like this show.
I'm going to take one for the team because this is coffee based.
Okay. And just like this show and the three of us, it says right here on the label, ages well. So I think that's the perfect statement here for number 500. So
I'll say.
Yep.
Yeah, why does it have the caution? But anyway, thank you for taking one for the team, Jay. I was wondering when I was like, does he know that this is coffee?
Yes, I do. It's heavy coffee, but you'll tell us all about the ingredients on it.
Sure will.
All right.
She's nice and thick.
So before we get started here, I mean, when we started this, did you think we'd do 500 reviews? I mean, was there any thought that we'd still be doing this?
I'd get tired of y'all's BS and just quit after 20.
I mean, I think I knew Jay would do this with me from the beginning. You were the one I didn't think would actually ever do it.
So I was the holdout. Yeah.
So, I mean, the show could have been.
But I'm glad I finally submitted to y'all.
Yeah. It's been a nice run.
Gave in.
So. Yeah. Ramming down my throat. Here we go.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Take it in.
Happy
first.
500, fellas.
Yeah, happy 500. It's awesome. It's the little things in life. Wow.
Yeah. Taken aback a bit. It's a bit too, going on with these puns. There's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So the Wake Up Worldwide Stout. What's this? 17.5%? 17%?
17. It's at 16 to 18. This is based on, I think.
I saw the range.
Yeah, this is the one we got. It has a date of 2022 on the bottle, so I assume it's the 2022 version. But they do a different version or make the same thing every year. It just might have a little different variation on the coffee or others. But
it is the aroma of roasted malt, coffee, licorice. Yeah, maybe. Flavor, roasted malt, subtle coffee notes. I will say, Jay, I think that they're subtle. They're not overpowering me.
It's not as bad as some of the others that we've had in the past. And it's subtle.
Say it's brewed with ridiculous amounts of barley. But I'm gonna read the bottle. The bottle has better. It's funny.
Excellent.
Their website, it looks more. It looks too corporate. Granted, they
Well,
have
you got to
gone
remember
the corporate
they
way,
got bought. Yeah. So
right?
once they
And
got
I'll
bought,
get to that. But they sounded like, when they started, they were this cool, edgy, getting these ingredients around the world. But
yeah.
they don't talk enough about their start and their beers, because the bottle has stuff on it that was not mentioned on the website. So the ingredients: the malted barley, organic Nicaraguan Finca Terrorito cold pressed coffee, oat milk solids and hops, cinnamon and dextrose, organic maple syrup. I'm getting the maple a little bit.
Yeah, you get the maple,
That's
you
what
get
I
a
was
little
thinking.
bit of that cinnamon.
They describe it as a breakfast beer with purpose.
It's
One hell of a
definitely
breakfast beer.
Yeah.
Give me like
yeah.
making a brunch with this.
Yeah.
Whew,
I'm gonna
that'll
drink this
set me
tomorrow before
straight.
work.
This is breakfast.
Yeah.
Lord.
Okay, Jay. So this series debuted in the winter of 1989. That is an 8, maybe it's a 9. It's blurry. No, got to be 99 because the brewery didn't open until 95. So,
Yeah.
Your eyes were just blurry when you were.
oh my gosh, that was another late night. So again, their website was lacking. Tell me about, what do you know about the Worldwide Stout
Well,
series?
like it's been one of those that's highly sought after, and they
Is it
do
it's
limited
not every year though?
release. I think it was traditionally, I believe, every year, uh, when they were before they were purchased. Now I think that they've added these variants like Wake Up Worldwide Stout afterwards, but if I stand correct, I believe it was a every year limited release type that they would do. So there's a
Yeah.
couple of those. There's another one up there. I was trying to think of. Um, that is very unique and highly sought after. I don't think it was a Dogfish. It was another one from that area that had gotten bought as well. So,
Yeah. I'd had a vendor that we do some work with. Somehow our show came up, and this has been probably almost 2 years now. But they mentioned the Worldwide Stout specifically as one for us to try, and they lived. If I remember correctly, they lived on the in the Northeast, and said that was one if we can find at some point we need to try to grab. So I'd had a note about the Worldwide Stout, and obviously this is a variant of that, but definitely glad to get to try one of them at this point.
yep. So
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Dogfish Head. Dogfish Head Brewery. It's out of Milton, Delaware. Um, Started in 1995. Technically, it's a regional brewery. It was started by Sam Calagione. I think it's Calagione.
is it still a regional after they were
Oh,
purchased?
well, I don't think Boston Beer is a macro.
Well, but they're. I thought they were Sam Adams bought them.
Yeah, that's Boston Beer Company,
So
but that's
Boston Beer, yeah,
I don't think that's a macro.
they're not macro.
Because I remember when we did it, we were like, "How's this not a macro?" When we did all
Exactly,
those
especially
different
with
ones.
them
Yeah.
buying people like Dogfish. So.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, he first started brewing out of his kitchen when he lived in New York City with his roommates, and first one was out of a beer made of brewed out of overripe cherries. That's something they felt that they had to talk about. His first successful beer was Midas Touch, I remember reading about this one. It was out of honey, saffron, and white musket grapes.
Mm.
I kind of learned a little bit. I didn't know much about Dogfish Head Brewery, but I found this show years ago. Gosh, it had to be a dozen. It was like on the Travel Channel or something, and they did this short, like limited series on him and Dogfish Head and Stout. And I remember him. They were showing him like, I don't know, it was some market. I don't know if it was in Egypt or Morocco or something. And he was looking for just wild yeast from this area. He was just like taking samples of ingredients and different spices to bring back to make this new style of beer. And I was like, well, that's cool. And that really, I was drinking what limited craft beer we could get because,
Mhm.
but that really, I mean, so this may be close to 20 years ago. That really piqued my interest in it.
Yeah, they stuck out with
Um,
me as well.
yeah.
They've always been very creative and kind of they were on the cutting edge from a craft beer standpoint, and they were kind of one of those gateway craft beers in a lot of ways with some of the stuff that they do, and still to this day.
Hmm. They're named Dogfish Head because it's named after a peninsula called Dogfish Head in Maine, where he spent his childhood summers. And it came from a local spot where fishermen would catch dogfish in their lobster traps. So I thought, okay, it's cool. So he's all over the place. He started brewing in New York City, childhood summers in Maine, breweries in Delaware. It first started in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. I guess headquarters in Milton. They have other sites in, I don't know how to pronounce this, Lewes, Lewes, and they have restaurants, an inn, distillery. So they've got a lot. Interestingly enough, their inn, they have only one inn, but they don't serve alcohol at the inn. So I was like, that's weird. No beer, nothing. You do all this. And as you mentioned earlier, they were acquired by Boston Beer Company in 2019.
Yeah, they do. I've loved some of their stuff for years and years. They were, like I said, to me, they were kind of that craft beer intro for me. Um, I always loved their can art. I mean, they would do such unique things. They would have like one called the American Disguise or costume karaoke or things like that with variations of the American Disguise would be like a pale ale disguise as something else, so you wouldn't think about it. Worldwide Stout, you can see. I mean, even the label here is unique. It's one of those that grabs you. Sequence has always been one of my favorite go tos. Yeah, it's I guess it's kind of that. They say it's in the sour category, but it's that sea salt and lime sour. It's just it's the perfect post run, post exercise beer, in my opinion. And I love to have that one on the beach, and we've got to do a review of that at some point. But um, since they've been bought, their stuff hasn't been quite as creative or distributed to us down here, in my opinion. Used to get a lot more of their stuff and
Yeah,
a lot of
now that you mention that,
differentiation. Yeah.
I used to see more Dogfish Head, like,
Mhm.
and essentially now it's just 90-minute IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just their standard
Um,
stuff. You'll see the 60, the 90. You don't ever
I
see the
might get a sequence
120.
every now. No,
I get the sequence, and we get that. I mean, it's pretty standard in most of the
I can't
grocery
remember if
stores
I've
and
seen that
things.
here.
But
Um,
and then they have one called Citrus Squall, I think, and then a couple others like that. But that actually, I picked up one today that I'm pretty excited about. They have a Grateful Dead, Grateful Haze
they mentioned that on
that
their
they
website.
just
Yeah, I
came
saw
out
that.
with. So I got that today in the store. So I'm excited to kind of try that. But yeah,
So this is our third, I believe, from Dogfish Head. We did the 90-minute IPA. That was an early one.
Yeah.
The early
yeah,
episodes, and then
Yeah.
the pumpkin ale. Excuse me.
yep.
I think that's it. This is our
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I knew we hadn't done Sequence, and I really think we ought to because it's a good beer, and it's widely known and fully distributed from the distribution of Boston Beer. Um, so it's kind of their go to and the go to that I have when we're at the beach or on the pool sometimes. I'll easily pick up a 6 pack of that.
Agreed. I do the same. And we get it in the 6 packs here pretty regularly around the summertime. It's not, we don't have it year round, but
No, ours is year round. I mean, I saw some today.
gotcha.
So several others.
Well, that makes me hope we still get it.
Yeah.
Like you said, I've seen a lot less Dogfish Head of late.
Yeah, it's not like it was. That's a little disappointing, considering Sam Adams bought them and said that they were going to leave them to do their thing and just increase their distribution. But I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And part of that might have been part of the times. I think when they purchased them, it was right after COVID, wasn't it?
no, it's right before 2019.
Right before, yeah. So I mean, COVID probably hit them hard, just like everybody else. And then today's day and age, with the cost of ingredients and things like that, we see more and more breweries closing.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andy, since you're usually the sleepiest on the show,
It's starting to hit me too. I'm like, I'm fading. I'm like,
I think for a wake
it's
up
very
call by
nice.
Stout,
Wake up.
You were up to bat to be the first one here to run through this. So, what do you think?
Now that it's sitting a while, and I was trying to take more sips. I'm trying to pull out all the flavors and ingredients, and they're coming through. And it's roasty, but not like a not like a Starbucks coffee over roasted burnt.
No.
You taste it. If there's some coffee, like they say, when they say subtle, it is subtle, but you get a little maple. And I'm picking up like the milk sugar out of it. But it feels heavy. It tastes heavy. It's thick on the palate. Those first sips, like I said, you were just bombarded with all the ingredients at once, and I was just trying to take it in. And 17%. We were talking. This is the strongest beer we reviewed, correct?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done 14, 15s.
14, 15, somewhere in there. But
And it's usually the ones that are in the teens have been barrel aged, and this makes no mention of that. So it's interesting. It tastes like alcohol, but not whiskey. So kudos to them.
I was actually going to ask. I'm like, did I miss that this is barrel aged?
Yeah.
I was sitting over here looking at the bottle. I didn't see it anywhere. But yeah.
But it's good. I'm enjoying it. This is a slow drinker. This is a special occasion sipper. Maybe just share with somebody half and half. Yeah. Just guzzling it.
Yeah.
So talking about ramming down your throat.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm going to give this. Golly. Hey, what the hey? 8.5. It's a great beer. Going to give it its due. I like it.
All right. Jay, what do you think?
yeah, it's. I like the way Andy put it. I mean, it's a lot to unpack, and as it warms, it's probably something I don't know. It didn't have a suggestion for temperature, but a lot of the stouts they want them a little bit warmer. You get the full balance of flavor across the board. The coffee is subtle. I'm not a coffee guy. This I can appreciate. It's not like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' or someone trying to cram stuff down or do a big heavy coffee stout. You do pick up on the maple. That's very, very much there. A little bit of the cinnamon. The milk sugars, I don't get it as much as Andy, but that could just be my palate. Um, it is heavy. It is a mouthful. It is very thick. Uh, Yet it is still deceptive at 17 because it creeps on you fast. Um,
Yeah.
this is
Sneak
one.
attack. I was like,
Yeah, honestly, if the three of us were together, I'd share this beer amongst
yeah.
us.
But since you're alone, you're just chugging it. That's the
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
He's like shooters. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've still got a third of my beer left, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Um, it's really good to me. I'm not going to go as high as Andy. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's a really great beer. It's still got a little bit of coffee, which, but they've done a great job with it. And I was glad I was able to pick these up and share them.
All right, yeah, definitely appreciate you sharing it with us. I think we obviously saved this one for our 500th review because we felt like it was a somewhat of a special beer.
occasion.
Yeah. And so I think that I agree with you, Jay, in the sense that this would be a great beer to share. You're probably not always looking to have one of these by yourself necessarily, unless it's the only one you're going to do of the night, or maybe one other. One thing before we
Maybe
get
I want
too
to
far,
cry into my pillow kind of night.
I mean that's why we live in a free country. You can choose to do that.
Andy's already getting there.
One thing I wanted to point out on the bottle that you can kind of see here that doesn't show up on the logo down below is it's kind of got these kind of copper colored reflector things here. Yeah. I just think it's really cool given the bottle as a whole. Just I don't know. I thought that was cool to kind of point out.
It should for what we paid for them, right?
I don't know what you paid for them, but I appreciate you.
I'm
getting
just
them.
Kidding with you.
That being said, I think the beer it reminds me a lot of the Eat Effects that we had in Ghost Train, and I don't know if that's. And granted, we had 4 of them, and they were all different, so that's a really probably very very wide statement. But if I take a big enough sip, I get a little bit of the burn on the back end. So the fact that it doesn't mention its barrel age is really kind of confusing to me because everything I taste points me to some sort of barrel aging to me. Could be wrong, probably am, but that's just where it takes me. It's a sweet beer to me as well. So
you got to do something to get the ABV that high for sure.
Right. Yeah. So the maple for sure is the predominant flavor, and I don't get coffee really at all. And you guys have mentioned it's subtle, and if there was a coffee in there, Jay would definitely be harping. There. Yeah, be harping a little more.
Bloodhound it out.
Yeah, but I think it's a fun beer. I think it's it's 17%. It's one of those when you can get it, you have it every once in a while. I think it would be a lot of fun for this one specifically, since it does age well according to the label, to be able to get these year over year, almost like the Bourbon County from Goose Island, and cellar them, and then do a waterfall where you try several over an evening with friends, of course.
What?
Yeah.
You want to do?
Yeah. You just it's just a cry to the pillow. You get 5 of these.
Leave us a letter first. Write your letter first, then the waterfall. Or
make sure your will is up to date. Go ahead and take 5 of these down.
Explain yourself, sir.
Yeah. So, but no, I think it's a fun beer. I think it's a really great beer too. An 8 was where I was coming out on it. 17, to your point, Jay, it's a little bit deceptive. I mean, I definitely think it's a high ABV, but I don't know that I would think it was as high as 17 I think I'd probably put it in the 12 to 13 range if I
Yeah,
was
that's
just
kind of my
guessing.
thought. 10 to 12, maybe. Thinking this is a 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think my 5%'s here. The 12%'s up in here right now.
yeah.
I'm
In the
So
big.
anyway, but yeah, I think this one's an 8. I think it's been a great beer for our 500th review. I cannot believe that we have been doing this show long enough to have reviewed 500 beers. Granted, we have a couple that we did over double. You know, we did our first one a couple of times, the Carnival Cake Ale and the King Cake Ale, because they renamed it after they
technically
saw our
should be
show,
502.
maybe. But
There's 2 lost episodes that will never that never were.
well, if somebody would have reminded me to hit record here,
Technically, this
then
is the 502nd episode that we've done.
you got to always account for some waste in every business venture, right? So there you go.
But I mean,
2 out of 502. Well, not shabby. Yeah. You do great work.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
Did I say that? That was hard to.
It is recorded.
I tried to.
just think about the percentage on that. I mean, you're talking 2 episodes out of 500.
I think what it really stings is the fact that the 2 episodes that it happened on, one we had a guest, and the other one, Andy was like head to toe and like
Gimmick.
garb.
He was on fire,
yeah.
They were good episodes.
And that was one actually. I think it was meant to be, Jay, because you weren't going to be a part of that episode other than to just sit there.
Right.
But that's why it was gold.
Right.
You just have to sit there and go like,
yeah. So it just wasn't meant to be. It's supposed to be a three person review, and that's just the way it was meant to be.
Yeah, but
so no more guests.
You think about it. 2 episodes out of 500, you're talking less than a percentage.
Yeah. So
less than 1%.
That's right. So I can hit a button over and over again. I'm good at that. Like a lab rat. Just ding, 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 ding. So if you're still watching, we definitely appreciate it. We've had a lot of fun with this beer and had a lot of fun with this show. Never thought we'd get this far. And, we'll celebrate again when we have 500 more. And maybe I'll only mess up 2 more times in the next 500. We'll see. All right. Thank you guys for joining us on our 500th beer review. Definitely have had a great time on this one and a great beer to review. That's going to be an 8.2 for the Wake Up Worldwide Stout from Dogfish Head. Definitely, I would say if you can find any of these series or you had them, grab them or let us know what you think about them down in the comment. We're going to probably be on the lookout for some more of them, I would say. I think this would be similar to the Bourbon County series. We're going to try to grab some more as we can and share those with you guys, and definitely just review them because they're fun beers to review from time to time. Hey, if you've been with us on this journey and you're watching this video for the first time or the 500th time, we appreciate you guys checking this out. We have a lot of fun. And we do this show mostly for ourselves, but we are also very humbled that anybody would join us on this journey as well. So definitely appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you are doing so for the first time, we'd also appreciate a like, a subscribe, and for you to cheers that notification bell. And yeah, hey, we got some links down below. We've got a Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server that you're going to want to check out and jump in and chat with us. Tell us what you think about the fact that we're still doing reviews. I mean, you may come in and tell us that we should stop.
And, or
don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Or hit that thumbs down twice. You can do that to let us know as well. With that, for Andy and the Attic and Jay, I am Ben. Happy 500th beer review, guys. I wouldn't do it with anybody else. Cheers, mates.
500 mates, too.
Cheers, mates.
Maybe it was supposed to be called Wake Up World Wide Stout. Coming your way. Hit your face.
I'm just glad you're still awake and hadn't fallen asleep on us.
Because it has coffee in it.
It's coming. The great sleep.
Not yet. Let's get another 500 out of you first.
Oh no, yeah, that's just
Great.
not that great sleep.
It's a great way to end an episode.